Greetings everyone, and Great here with another Age Mythology Replay. Spawn bottom side as the blue Hades, we got BroodCorn8. Spawn north side as the red Hades, we got lK1nGl, or those L's? I have no idea. Either way, this is a Hades mirror matchup, so let's take a quick look at Hades himself. Focus on ranged soldiers and buildings. Possible shades. We've got more hit points from myth units. Ranged soldiers get +1 range and line of sight, and fortification +2 range, and ballistics and burning pitch are free. When it comes to the minor gods, I'm more favored towards Ares. Athena provides a very powerful Age 2 god power and restoration. The Minotaur is an okay myth unit. Nothing too particular, just a solid frontline unit. The Aegis Shield increases pierce armor for infantry, and a Hades matchup, that's actually is an important upgrade. And of course, got Hoplites increased range and melee damage. Ares provides Pestilence, which was nerfed from Gold Edition. Cyclopes is an even better frontline than Minotaur, who now costs gold rather than food. They actually have the same cost now, and I think Cyclopses are better. Spear of Panic gives Hoplites and Prodromos a bit of divine damage, which is very nice. Bypass is enabled early and increase your damage, and Toxdays give your increased damage for your Toxdays. Just King, I reckon. IVs things. I'm not sure what you're saying right there. My apologies.
Έτοιμος.
Looks like red does find some goats. Goats are, of course, the goat. Finds 12 goats versus 9 goats. And I do hear some rugs being picked on up. Ajaxes find the turf rings and green swords, give your heroes a lifesteal. Not too particularly useful for Greek heroes, honestly. Head Orifice improves when line of sight. That's really not useful. It's okay, but it's not that great. Feather Zhengwei provides a trickle of wood, which is excellent. And of course we have Feathers of Fenrir. Make your villagers have better melee damage. So not great either. We've got Ares versus Athena, so the mirror matchup has become less of a mirror matchup. I reckon. Let's see. I meant the player name. Ah. Oh, got it. Sorry, oh yeah, now I see the word king with bars. Oh, that could be bars rather than L's, isn't it? The bar symbol is the vertical line underneath the backspace. Norm the Minotaur is advancing. Cyclops is going to be trying to engage. Villagers shanking the scout. Villagers get knocked away from the Minotaur, keeping them alive. Ajax runs past the Minotaur. And the Minotaur could have got 2 villager kills there. Achilles trying to hit the Minotaur now. Let's see, 17-1 versus 16-1.4. So the Minotaur did have more DPS, but the Cyclops has crush damage, which is something you could always use in H2.
Λέγε.
The Cyclops can pick up the Hippus, and it's probably a good idea. Achilles getting distracted by Ajax. Does pick off one of those villagers there. Hippus gets thrown away from the villagers. That's one to keep your villagers safe. Just throw the cavalry away. Achilles is taking on the Cyclops, and the Cyclops offers a pretty good healthy health pool. Minotaurs have, what, 400 HP? Cyclops have nearly 700. They're a very good front line. I definitely do rate Cyclops better than Minotaur, and since now the Minotaur costs gold rather than food, and have the same cost as Cyclopses, means it makes the Cyclops a bit more convenient, because food collection is either constant through farms or better through delicious venison. As you can see, we spotted these deer.
Πρόσταγμα.
Mining upgrades do have the watchtower. Keep watch of everything. Both players have not summoned their what's called sentinels just yet. Couldn't do it until this was fully built. And since we're back in the eco phase, I'm going to just fast forward slightly. Red's deployed out his sentinels. I disagree with that. Wait until a raid has come. Both players have second town center, but red is keeping on the military. Played Age of Mythology a long time ago. I remember the Cyclops giants. Ah, that's the Egyptians. The Petrusos. If you want a whole thing or rant about Petrusos, watch Giant Grant Games. Actually, you probably would like that video either. Regardless, Giant Grant Games retrospective of Age of Mythology. It is 3 hours 33 minutes long. It's a good channel. Achilles there. Because apparently the word term Petrusos is actually a mistranslation, an ancient Greek mistranslation of Egyptian dialogue. So it was actually a mistranslation thousands of years that even lasted until years later. No, until about a couple years later, years ago. Blah. That's the term I'm looking for. Pegasus receiving some fire. We do now have Aphrodite being queued up by Hades. I probably should mention what the minor guards are. You got Apollo and Aphrodite. Aphrodite does provide a very powerful god power, Curse. Nini Line's a pretty good crowd control. Bit of a weaker side, but still nice to have. Divine Blood makes your villagers move faster, build faster. Your town centers work rate, and of course makes them carry faster, so it's better for economic. And Golden Apples make them collect more favor. Yeah, it was 3 hours, 33 minutes, and 33 seconds. Now I remember the length of the video. He also did another one for Warcraft 3 that was 4 hours, 44 minutes, and 44 seconds. Yeah. Looks like got another bit of change up there. We've got Apollo versus Aphrodite. He explains how Ensemble Studios did everything so mostly right, like 99% right when it comes to Age of Mythology. And talking about Apollo, forgot to mention him. We of course got another very powerful god power, Underworld Passage. A very powerful myth unit, a ranged myth unit, Manticore. Oracle, it's not great, makes your villagers see farther. Temple Healing, it's decent, not particularly strong. Sunray, it also affects myth units, so this is a pretty good mythological upgrade. Also % damage on all ranged units, both hero or both myth unit and human soldiers. Good for the Manticore. And the ship technology. Basically I put a lot of value in the Manticore in Sunray. Manticore is one of those myth units you can mass summon and be very good. And since it's a ranged myth unit and not flying, only Chiron could be able to range it or attack it from range. And movement speed's not bad. It's just a good backline DPS one. And probably enjoys head pats. You now have a fortress being established here. Prodromos being established, the counter cavalry unit, very nice. Do have, of course, Hispanic Fear of Phobos. Since Red has gone for Apollo and Ares, he has one upgrade improved Toxa's damage by 10%, another upgrade can improve their damage by 15%. So his Toxae is going to be very effective. Pegasus does get shot up a little bit there. And of course, Blue's going a bit more economical. Does have, of course, Athena, which is good for your hoplites and range armor. That range armor is going to be important in this matchup. Hoplites are a good generalist unit, of course. And when it comes to Aphrodite, it makes your villagers better, so you may add to age up for the Colossus in order to really utilize that favor generation. Not Colossus, the... Why don't we talk about this? Hepatitis, or however you pronounce his name. Plenty Vaults, very good. Olympian weapons make your unique range unit better. And of course, make your army check attacks cheaper so you can skimp out on that. Artemis, of course, provides excellent god power of Earthquake as well. And we've got some sentinels established in the center map around the fortress here. This one's in pretty good protection position, while the other two providing gear. Not a bad spot for the sentinels, though it's more meant to good against harassment, so it's better put around town centers rather than fortresses. But since opponent's not been aggressive, you gotta be a bit more overt with the sentinels. I'll need to get. Oh yeah, wait, you get Burning Pitch and Ballistics automatically for free, right? Oh, either way. Oh, there goes the Pegasus. I have a feeling Red's probably going to age up with Artemis to get access to more bonus damage for the ranged soldiers. Ignore the poison damage over time. That damage is absolutely worthless. Sounds like a bear went down. Yep. The bears are being unbearable. And I have a feeling blue will go for the Colossus, Sunray, and the Inros Boar for Bow of Horror being queued on up. Heavy upgrades for blue. We got Cursed by red. Got a whole bunch of piggies. The wee. It's all the way new home. It looks like he will obtain them. And since it's not the campaign, you can't necessarily take them back home to the temple and convert them back. You just have to eat them. Don't worry, human and pig meat are very similar, so you shouldn't taste any difference. Or Nemean Lion roaring away, screaming like in the front line like a cat would. Manticore is taking out Achilles. Achilles does go down there. Numbertox stays fine in the back line. The Sentinel is still firing away. Not great DPS, just okay DPS. Nemean Lion's still alive, but barely. 2 health. A little less than barely. Hoplite and Hypasus now being deployed in the field. Hypasus is of course a counter infantry unit there, which both sides have a good number of hoplites, so Hypasus is probably a good call. Blue is lacking Lord's Tuxtays, so red could simply... A lot of Peltas to counter this one's range units, of course. Blue's trying to mix in some Hippus, not a bad idea. Red's Hippus Whoop or a counter unit, the Podromos will be better since he can get divine damage onto them. Maybe Red should research Healing Temple and deploy another temple over here. It's one of those cases where the longer the games goes on, the Healing Temple would pay for itself restoring all this health. Probably come out cost effective. How much does Healing Temple cost again? Control Favor. Yeah, it will probably be cost even, which is still probably a good idea. Then way you can you get more effects later on. Red is aging for Artemis, going for full range damage. Right now, Toxie is doing 9.6 as copper weapons versus 8.1, which also has copper weapons. So you can see quite a bit of difference there. And it looks like I did guess correctly. We got Hepatus versus Artemis. We also do now have the Hypasus increased damage by 50%. I just generally find Ares is a little bit better. Though the increased range armor for from Athena is useful in this engagement. If it was researched. Probably should research that sooner rather than later. You see your opponent going for... you're fighting against Hades. You know you're fighting against range damage. You improve all infantry, melee infantry. More Peltas, more Toxtays by red. Once the age is up, could mix in some as unique crossbowmen. Unique crossbowmen at least have good anti-structure damage at least, as well as able to outrange stuff like the Sentinels and the Fortress. It will almost be the same range as the Petra Bows. I think it gets up to like 26 range or 25 range. Sentinel gets easily destroyed there. Normal Minotaur advancing. You do have the full Minotaur upgrade. Pestilence deployed in the field reduces Proton's production rate by 50%. High passes taking. Oh, can't really see it from right there. Achilles goes down for red. Or blue's Achilles does go down as well. Both players have Chiron in the field. Restoration 12 by blue. Red should just fall back from that. As next to Earthquake, I don't think launching over here is a good idea. I think actually tasking a Pixel to head around back and drop it on the housing would be good. Let's pull it out right there. Getting some damage on this stuff. That was a lot of shades I just heard. Another round of Sentinels, that's a bad idea. Sentinels are anti-rating force, not an anti-arm force. They are weaker than a Watchtower. And like even less durable. 250 health versus 600. Not to mention lower DPS. Yep, don't rely on Sentinels. Like I said, they're anti-rating, not anti-army. And plus, against Hades, for which every single one of his ranges has Burning Pitch for free, means they don't stand a chance. Red's trying to break out and break into his opponent's base. Blue's trying to fall back, regroup. So that's the secondary town or tertiary town center there. But having trouble re-maxing out. Blue's maintaining maximum population. And Red also only has one less town center at the moment. Chimera engaging Ajax. Iron upgrades and bronze upgrades, very nice. All the other upgrades here. Achilles taking some damage there. Shafts of Plague being researched as well. Oh, my apologies. You heard my drink open up. We're starting to push forward with a reinforcement arc. Mostly high passes with some health pass in reserve. Bulk arc counter force. Toxates will report the high passes, no problem. Perseus turns the Colossus to stone and ripping apart. And the Colossus has been turned to stone. It was made out of gold. But then again, didn't get the silver nor gold Colossus, so it probably was made out of bronze. Fortified towns are now being built. First, just turn something else to stone, probably a man. Chiron getting hit pretty hard there. Toxates are advancing. The difference these are just quite stark. We got Peltast with 8.8 versus Peltast versus just 10. And of course the pitiful poison damage. destroys that structure there. Of course, with the fortified town center, going for Perseus and Achilles now. Both sides have private and military forces in the field, but Red does not at max population cap just yet.
Πρόσταγμα. Ετοίμος.
Perseus taking some damage there. And smoothly sort of just thrown away there. Some of Blue's forces getting peeled on off, and these forces will be killed off pretty easily. Lord Protest, Hypasus, Toxidays being blown up by Red. Blue just going for a good number of hoplites and advanced fortification. Coinage being researched as well. Heliopoli or Petropolis engaging town center. Red's health has to be hit by multiple high passes. Big round of shades being blown on the field. And town center does go down. Red's still not in max pop cap. Neither is Blue at the moment. Trying to go for some cavalry, going for heavy cavalry. We're going to try a big round of Hippus. Red does not have any siege weapons that quickly. Oh, there's the siege weapon to deal with the fortress. Which rolls when it comes to DPS against structures is 41 versus the Heliopoli's 75. Of course, it's much less range. It should be able to be garrisoned for more DPS, right? More Heliopoli being established. Iron armor as well. Got the boiling oil resource for Blue. Those villages get ripped apart. Oh, task 4. Blue has a nice little reserve of shades on the field to throw some shade as opponent. Fortress being established there and here. But once we hit, Blue's go for restoration. But I think it's a little bit not necessary at the moment. Units are mostly getting focused on one at a time. Not much healing actually was done there. More forces trying to establish the front line. Another Perseus Medusa head. Turning somebody in a face that only a mother could love. Fortress takes some hits there. Fortress takes some damage there. Do have a Chiron, another Perseus being established. Hypasus, Peltas, and more Hippus. Over here got Toxdays, Hippus, and Villagers. The fortress does go down. And Perseus getting shanked by some Villagers. Once the structure being destroyed, there's goldness on the map, so this is a high point of contention. Red right now doesn't have much or any gold left on his side of the map or in the center. Blue has none as well. So both players have to fight for the gold in the center. Hip established right there. Hippus does find a nice little flank there. Probably good transition by Blue. They're trying to go another fortress here. Archery is getting hit. And Blue's going to try to steal another town center. The number of shades in the front line for blue. Red shades is all just being stacked up and queued up. We have now another restoration deployed by blue. Red is not going for too much favor production. Blue, of course, has gone for Aphrodite, so more favor production there. Could have eyed for us being 20 volt. More shades being pushed forward now. Overall, looks like blue is starting to gain some ground. More shades being set by red. Blue's going for now some of his unique crossbowmen as well as heavy petrobolas. And looks like red has resigned his hand grade. Saying, thank you for watching, and on to next replay.